How's it going, gamers? We're back in Explorer playing Gyruda combo. I was getting tired and bored of the format playing the sort of accepted good decks and trying to brew mid-range stuff, so we're back with an old favorite combo here based around Gyruda Doom of Depths. This is a companion card, so it's already busted, though the restriction on this one is pretty serious. You can only have cards with even mana values in your starting deck, so you've only got 2 drops, 4 drops, and 6 drops here. And then, when enters the battlefield, each player mills 4. You put a creature card with an even mana value from among those milled cards onto the battlefield under your control. So what we're trying to do here is play Gyruda, and then mill cards, get something that can copy Gyruda, or flicker Gyruda, ideally. So we get a Wisp-Weaver Angel here is the best one. 6 mana, 4/4 flyer, enters the battlefield, exiles Gyruda, returns it under your control immediately, and then Gyruda triggers again. Then you can copy the Wisp-Weaver Angel to get a bunch of 4/4s with flying. Then we have a bunch of just clone effects here. Enters the battlefield as a copy of a creature, enters the battlefield as a copy of a non-land permanent, any creature, any creature. So you can copy your opponent's creatures too, which is kind of helpful to get to the place where you copy Gyruda. But then we've got 22 creatures in the deck that make Gyruda trigger again when you hit them, so that's about a 15% chance to miss on a Gyruda trigger, which is pretty good. Then the rest is just ramp spells to try and do your turn 6 combo on turn 4 instead, where combos are much more reasonable. You'll often lose if you try to be doing things on turn 6. Yeah, that's basically the combo. We've got some Charming Prince down here as a couple of cheeky ones. It doesn't trigger immediately, but it can flicker your Gyruda, bring it back at the next end step. So you get this down in your main phase, you can still go off in your end step and keep doing it. So then what the actual goal of that is, so each time this happens, each player mills 4 cards. You do this on your turn, you repeat it again and again until both players mill out, essentially. And then it goes to your opponent's turn, they draw a card, they lose. So some versions of this deck in the past played like Dragon Lord Kolaghan and things like that to make a bunch of 6/6s and 4/4s, and then Dragon Lord Kolaghan comes down and gives them haste. But I think that's dull, and Kolaghan is not really a hit in the first 2 or 3 hits off of Gyruda. And even if you hit these, and then you just copy Gyruda a couple of times, and then you hit Kolaghan, then you just have 2 6-power creatures with haste, which is like not bad, but you're not doing much else on the earlier turns, so that's probably still going to make you lose. So I've gone with just extra hits here and not on the Kolaghan plan. You probably do that if you want. Another way to make this deck different is to play a Spark Double, is arguably the better clone effect. If you go by the market anyway, it's much more expensive than any of these cards. But I do not have any, so I won't really be playing some here unless I get bored and craft one partway through this video. See if the search function will work, and not collected. So this copies a creature, gets a +1/+1 counter, and then it's not legendary if it is legendary. So this can come down, copy Gyruda, be non-legendary, and then you can keep copying the non-legendary Gyruda to get more and more 6/6s, which is pretty cool. But it's wild cards, it's not really playable anywhere else, so craft at your own risk. Basically, I just got enough of these from other sources. I got a bunch of these from New Capenna without asking for them to build this deck with only having to craft the Wisp-Weaver Angel, so that's why we're doing it. Maybe we'll get a couple Spark Doubles and a Kolaghan in later on just to see how that plays, but been having some pretty good results with this one so far. Ramp cards, we really want to go off on 4. So the ways that we can do that are, on turn 2, we can play Florahedron, or we can play any of these cards on turn 2, right? Except the Innkeeper. Yeah, because you can only use the Innkeeper mana once. So you play Growth Spiral, Tangled Florahedron, or Paradise Druid, which is 10 cards on turn 2, to give you 3 mana, or then gives you 4 mana on turn 3. So then with that 4 mana, you can play either Prosperous Innkeeper or Growth Spiral into buy Gyruda from the Companion Zone So playing Innkeeper or Growth Spiral. Is that how that works? No. Okay, after talking myself through that, I've cut the Paradise Druids and 1 Innkeeper for 3 Wolfwillow Havens. So then you play any of these ramp spells except the Innkeeper on turn 2, and then you can play Wolfwillow Haven or Growth Spiral on turn 3 into by Gyruda, into cast Gyruda on turn 4 with the 6 mana because you have ramped twice and gotten Gyruda into your hand. So Innkeeper does not work if you want to cast Gyruda on turn 4 if you do not already have it in hand. However, it being ramp that does not get removed, and the life gain is super duper helpful against a lot of matchups in Explorer currently, I think Innkeeper is worth the include here. Over Paradise Druid or any other 2-mana ramp spell, because those ones don't work on turn 3 to buy it like the Growth Spiral and Wolfwillow Haven do. Wolfwillow Haven doesn't give you any color, which is a little bit difficult as we are in 3 colors here, with green for our ramp spells, blue for our copies and Gyruda, and white basically just for Charming Prince. We almost never hardcast Wisp-Weaver Angel, but it's nice to have the option. But anyway, so these are the ramp spells we're going with. Might change it a bit as we go through the video. And it's 24 lands plus 4 Florahedrons. We really just need to get to 6 mana as consistently as possible. So 28 lands plus a bunch of ramp spells is how we're going to do that. Charming Prince can also scry you to lands if you play it early in the game, which is another reason that I like having a couple of those here. Anyway, that is the deck. Let's go try it out. A little awkward, very much like more lands with 2 growth spirals. I think we're going to throw this back. Alright, that's better. 8-6, put that back. Play Paradise Druid. Since we have the Gyruda in hand, we can just copy the Paradise Druid this turn, and then go off next turn. Maybe it's a little bit better to copy the Innkeeper there. So the life might be relevant. But hopefully doesn't matter. Collected Company. Okay, they find Skyclave app, so we don't get to go off just yet. And they make a real big Trelisara. This is a little bit unusual for life gain decks at the moment. It's playing the Innkeeper Trelisara life gain instead of straight Angels. So Mirror Hall Mimic copying Skyclave app is pretty tempting here, and I think we're going to go for it. Just take the Trelisara off the board before they go completely nuts. We did end up scrying to the top. So likely another Collected Company here. Yep. Okay, not too scary though. Happy to take that trade, happy to attack back Skyclave app, doesn't really make a difference to me. He will try to go off here. Okay, hit an Angel on the first try, pretty good. Keep it going. There's a copy. Wisp-Weaver Angel. Flicker Gyruda, take action. And a whiff. Get an Innkeeper. Could be worse. We'll attack for 2. Would like to keep them off of 27 so they don't make speaker tokens. So didn't quite mill them out, but this is a pretty solid board state, which unless they can get to 27, they should have a pretty tough time overcoming. We don't have anything available next turn, but the turn after we can go again with the companion Gyruda. Opponent's somewhat struggling with what's happening here. Understandable. Oh, sorry, sure. And Resplendent Angel is a 4/4. But they don't get to trigger it, they don't get to Speaker of the Heavens just yet, so I think we're in good shape. Let's see, is there anything I can cycle into? Yeah, any 4-cost copier here is a good draw, so we'll go ahead and try that. Get the land, though, not ideal. Don't want to attack with the Gyruda, but we can send these 2 in to try and keep their life total low. Okay, and buy this one. Speaker, gain 1. Johnny. So that gains a bunch of life and will trigger their Resplendent Angel. Bit unfortunate. Not quite to the Speaker of the Heavens life total yet, though. So it could be worse. We might survive one more turn. Gyruda, see if we can make it happen. Okay, we'll take one of the shield counters, seems pretty good. Flicker the Gyruda, go again. Okay, and do this one. Why not? I wanted to do an angel. Oops, I should be a bit more careful here. And another operative, get another angel with a shield counter. Flicker that. Take action. Need to hit 5 more times, which is not super duper likely, but could happen. It's not super duper unlikely either. Also gained enough life that they're not likely to be able to kill us this turn. Okay, get another operative. Another angel with a shield counter. Flicker Gyruda. Need 2 more hits here. There it is, so that should be the game. Clever Impersonator, Angel, and we got him. What a time. So, let's see, this is not great with only one ramp spell, but we've got good mana. These can help us run the play. I don't really want to mulligan into a 2-lander. We'll try it. Just Taven on 2, buy Gyruda on 3, copy something on 4. Never mind, we can Growth Spiral on 1, and into Hallowed Fountain. I'm going to do that during my main phase. They're a counterspell gamer. That can be pretty tricky for us, and it looks like they are, unfortunately. That resolves immediately. Go for Charming Prince to scry to some more lands, hopefully. Beautiful. Let's keep both of those right there. Alright. Our ramp and keeping on top was simply too much for the blue-white control opponent to take. I think I'm keeping this with the Growth Spiral. Bunch of lands, bunch of colors. Growth Spiral's an additional draw and another ramp spell. Forest, Llanowar Elves, sure. So far this has been a pretty reasonable matchup. Especially since we go first. Troll, sure. Earth Spiral, put that one down. I want to copy their troll. Or their Llanowar Elves. Not really, I think I'm just buying Gyruda. Play tap lands, they go. Next turn, if we desperately need to, we can copy the Llanowar Elves. If we had a Gyruda in hand, we could have done it that turn to go off next turn. But could also copy a Cavalier here if they would like to play one of those. No, Kiora. Untap Nykthos, play Festival. Yikes. No, they untap that one? No, Nykthos. Sure.
Flows with vigor.
Yep. They've always got it, huh? This is turn 3, yeah. Pretty good. This does not hit Planeswalkers, unfortunately. We draw the land, though. I think maybe I'm just supposed to copy the troll. Just to get a bit more of a board presence. You can flashback the Storm the Festival here. Keep clicking over here like they're going to not untap Nykthos. Come on, man. Maybe they're new to the deck. It's okay. Don't tap Nykthos. Cast Storm the Festival again. Then you can activate Nykthos after increasing their devotion more. Vote and a 5/5, sure. It is a little awkward to have the 3 Whisperer Angels in hand, as that is fewer good hits for Gyruda. Another Lovestruck Beast. And a troll. Looks like we're dead next turn, which is quite unfortunate. Unless we hit pretty well here. Maybe I'm not supposed to take this trade as I've already got 3 damage on. Oh, this just comes back and copies something. Interesting. Strange. That's an interaction. Play Gyruda, see if we can make something happen here. We get the 4th Angel right off the bat. It's a good start. Of course, the opponent's going to have priority to crew their Sky Sovereign this whole time, which is awkward. And immediately whiff. Yikes. Is that enough blockers to keep us in this? We shall see. Guess they get to kill the Innkeeper with their boat attack.
One drop ripples and grows.
Yeah, if they just have a portal in the board for Karn, they've got us here. Well, this matchup is fine when we get a little bit lucky and they don't get super lucky. Here we whiffed pretty hard and they had about as good of a start as they can get. We'll probably run into them again here. Okay, that's 2 ramp spells. We'll keep it. Alright, Spirits has got to be atrocious, right? Just anybody playing more than 4 counter spells is very difficult for us. And they have the nuts. We'll just play the Innkeeper here and see if they want to counter it. Don't. Second Curious Obsession. If they didn't have counter spells, they do now. That resolves. Just go for the Florahedron. Don't have a land in hand for this Growth Spiral, but we could draw one. Which mana do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, Florahedron casts Gyruda if we draw one. I think I'm happy to trade for a Rattle Chains if they've got one here. Or another Sailor. Yep. See if we can draw something. Not quite. Almost certainly dead here. Shacklegeist, Shacklegeist. They have a Lord. It's lethal. No Lord. Just 8 counter spells in hand. Make him do it. Yeah. Spirit's deck still my pick for best deck in the format. I think we can keep that. 4 lands, 3 ramp spells. Humans, probably. Dahlia, sure. I won't be casting any non-creature spells. The only one we've got is Growth Spiral. I'll play a Florahedron here. Okay, they're stuck on the land, which is cool. Just play 2 more Florahedrons. Innkeeper Florahedron. I like Innkeeper Florahedron. They're pretty aggressive. Life could be an issue here. How much mana do I have? I have 6 mana once I play this land, and this block is fine. Brave the Elements, sure. I guess we knew they had that, but it's fine. It means they don't deploy another threat this turn. Maybe they didn't have one, but well. Bye, Gyruda. Play another ramp spell. Find the 3rd land. Gyruda Cathar. Probably the Innkeeper. They still have 6 mana if they take one of the Florahedrons. I'd still have 6 mana. Even without the treasure. I'll take the block. Play Gyruda, go for it. Bang. Hit a Prince and 2 more Gyrudas. I think I just take the Prince here. It's fine going to the end step. It's good to get more bodies in play. Bang, bang. I think now we want to copy the Gyruda and try and go off a bit more here. I mean, they just haven't been very effective this game. It doesn't really matter at this point. Because we have multiple more ways to keep it going next turn, and they're not conceivably going to kill me from 16 here. But let's try and end it. Okay, we whiff, but we put 14 power in play. Sorry, 18. Oh, Charming Prince. Brutal Cathar takes the Gyruda. That's fine. We can copy a Brutal Cathar, get it back. Does it matter? Not really. Do this one. Impersonator, Angel, Flicker, take action. Copy Angel, flicker, take action. Angel with a shield counter. Flicker. Angel. Flicker. Is there a copy effect left in my deck? It says there's 3 cards. Why do you say there's only 2? Anyway, because there's not copy effect left in my deck, I don't want to copy Gyruda again, as then they're at 5 cards, right? So they would draw a card, then it would go to my turn, and we'd lose. So get Undercover Operative, copy Brutal Cathar. I guess we still have the mana to play another one of these from hand. Oh well. So we could have milled them out by hitting the, or taking this copy to be another Angel or something. Flicker Gyruda, we mill ourselves out, we miss, but then we can play one of these from hand. Now, any creature you want there, but you are dead to these 7 Angels I've got. Good stuff. Just 1 ramp spell, but we've got Gyruda in hand, and this actually is another ramp spell. So this actually goes off on turn 4. We'll take it. Right, because this can copy Wolfalo Haven. Or Elvish Mystic, whatever. Or Tangled Florahedron. Probably doesn't matter, but I can save the Haven for when we'll get immediate value out of it. Play Karn. Tormod's Crypt does not stop Gyruda. If they have Grafdigger's Cage, that does. But most Karn boards nowadays have Tormod's Crypt. Just get a Sky Sovereign, sure. Which is a little awkward having played the Florahedron now, as that stops me from having the mana next turn. I'll just do that by Gyruda. Pass. Might not play the boat next turn. This turn. As it looks pretty lame here. Spending 5 mana to kill my 1/1. They go for it. Kills the Florahedron. Sucks. Does it hit Planeswalkers? It does. So we can copy that and kill Karn, which is not terrible.
Stand down.
But only if we draw land, right? If we don't draw land, we should copy the Wolfwillow Haven, just to guarantee we can go off. Leveler. That doesn't do it. We do draw the land, though, so we can go ahead and kill Karn. Do I kill Karn? Might be better to actually kill the Elvish Mystic here. Yeah. Karn can animate their Sky Sovereign and attack for 6, but doesn't get another annoying thing next turn. The Elf would allow them to cast a Storm of the Festival if they have one. Turn Timber. It's not one you see too often here. And even if we with Gyruda, we can attack with the boat. It was a bit lucky that we drew our basic forest here, as they often play multiple Besejus, which would be rough with the Wolfwillow Haven. Okay, so they Millstorm the Festival.
Awaken.
Attack me for 5. Or do they hold back and block? Nope. Attacks me for 5. What do they have for 1 here? Could be Beseju. Alright, this is a legendary creature now. Like Gyruda. Okay, hit an angel. Quicker Gyruda. Wow, they don't even want to make me do it. They know this isn't deterministic, right? Well. So, 2 green lands here, not really gonna do it for me. That's pretty good. Do need another blue source. Let's see, they're Keruga, so they probably play Stomp. I think I'm better off with just 2 Wolfwillow Havens here. Usually Keruga means Omnath Fires, which Fabled Passage does also imply. Innkeeper. Yeah. So next turn we can put the second Haven on here and draw Gyruda. Okay, we drew another Gyruda. So now we just play the Innkeeper for the blue source, yeah? Part of why I like Innkeeper over other choices, it is a blue source that doesn't really die to removal. So does the Paradise Druid, to be fair, but if you tap it on turn 2, then it does. Or turn 3, rather. Of course, you can't use the Innkeeper on turn 3 and again on a later turn. So they've got Leyline Binding up here, which is awkward. I think we're just supposed to go for it, though. We still get the trigger for free. Maybe they'll use it on my Innkeeper. No such luck. Maybe they don't have Leyline Binding. They do, sure. Yeah, probably should have just scryed there. Definitely should have seen them actually cast Leyline Binding, but already named the card. There's a good chance they had it. So, not having double blue is pretty rough here. Temporary lockdown hitting our local havens is absolutely devastating, and I don't think we can come back from that. This does not have a green source. Not seen that before. A pretty good chance to draw one. 21 times 2. Really? There's 4, 5, 6 lands left that don't tap for green. I will throw this back. That's better. Let's put back the Wisp-Weaver. I think I have enough ramp spells. Just play this tapped. The growth spiral is pretty cool. Lands put into play by a growth spiral do not die to temporary lockdown, so we're going to prioritize casting growth spiral. Charming Prince. How much mana do I have this turn? Don't have another land for the growth spiral. Do that. Willful Haven here. By Gyruda, and then a land drop allows us to go off. That's our best line here. If we don't draw the untapped land, we can play any combination of these and find it the next time. This opponent also wants to hold up Leyline Binding, which is awkward. Just play these out then. Scry here for another Gyruda mostly. Stomp my Charming Prince, sure. Those are not cards I want to draw. Okay, they play Cavalier. They do unfortunately still have binding up after they attack here. But we don't really have a lot of choice, just have to go for it. At least they have to use their treasure. being pretty sure they have Leyline Binding. Do I just want to take Omnath for value? I think so. Yeah. Bind Omnath. If I remove the binding, they get the Omnath. Sure. Just hope they don't have a second one. Okay, Fires. They do not have a second one. Nor can they buy and play Keruga. Cast Bone Crusher. Copy Cavalier and attack for 12. Just 5, really. So it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker. Number of lands in your graveyard, which is 2. No blocks. So we go 7. Cast Mirror Hall Mimic. Copying. Okay. I think I just have to go for the win. None of their opponents really do anything for me. You know that we have 2 of the angels on the bottom, which is very unfortunate. I mean, another Prince here isn't good enough. They have Cavalier Flame for a lot. Leyline of the Void in best of 1, no less. Interesting. Do I take the Omnath? Omnath is pretty tempting. We're going to 16 here. We can jump. Let's see, I also don't have anything in my hand or graveyard that lets me go up next turn, though. How many more hits do I need? 5. 5 is a lot. I'm going to take the Omnath. Okay, so there's another copy effect. So, yeah, they buy, play Keruga, copy Cavalier. No, they can't actually copy here. I guess they probably find an untapped land off Keruga. Cast Omnath. You find the untapped land, so now they can copy Cavalier, pump once, give everything haste, but we're not dead to that. I guess we also take a bunch of damage from this dying, though, don't we? Yeah, how many lands do they have in their graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we can't take any damage here. Yeah, I forgot about the Cavalier Death trigger there, to be honest. Pretty sure we're dead. Should have just gone for it. Yeah. Oh. Sure. Put back the Mimic, I guess. Just play Innkeeper on 2, Innkeeper on 3, and try and go off on 4. So, green-black land is usually Turbo Elves, which on the draw, hopefully we are fast enough to win, but they have Circle of Dreams Druid, which makes that more difficult. But we have 2 Innkeepers in play, which gains us a bit of life off of the Gyruda triggers. And we went first. Going first is good. Cast Coco. No. Lord, sure. Where else? Draw a card, probably. And another one, sure. I cast Gyruda, Doom of Deaths. And attempt to do the thing. Okay, Gyruda. Charming Prince. Up to 25. Gyruda. A bit more. Do it again. And again. And we whiff. But we're at 33, and the treasure there means that we can cast Vizier to get going again next turn. We draw an untapped land, we can cast the Wispweaver, which would be a little bit better. It's not terribly likely they can kill you from 33 here. They draw 3 more cards this turn. It means I need 1 fewer Gyruda hit to kill them. Okay, that deals, what, 10 or so? 9? Sure. I'm not afraid of no 9. Still at 24. Tap Circle of Dreams Druid for 9. Cast Coco. We get 2 elves here. We do need 1 fewer hit. We do get another shaman though. which that means they only need one more plus one more elf on board to get me, but they let the mana pass. What I pay? I guess I get the Prince just for the extra life gain triggers. Guess I still have a Prince left, right? Yeah, maybe I should just hit Gyruda. So I want my other Prince to still be live. Alright, there's the Angels, so we get some blockers. And more life gain triggers. Okay. Angel with a shield counter. And we miss. We're at 28. A good amount of blockers. We also don't have a way to go off next turn. Sparrow Sentinel. They're looking for a War Master, I'm sure. I've milled 3 of them. Probably have 1 left. Or was that all 4? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have milled all 4 War Masters. Wonder how many Shaman of the Pack they run. Clan Caller. It's a lot of big elves. There's another Shaman. Which probably leaves us dead to this attack. Do we have another Clan Caller left? Doesn't look like it. So, attacks all in. We need to jump here. Block here. Block 6. Block 6. Block here. Block there. And we take 12. Guess we can jump with the Prince too. Then we're drawing to one of our 4 remaining copy effects. And we get to kill 2 other lords. Wow. So, we do not win there. They conceded, but we do not have this win, and they definitely have lethal next turn. Right? Because this flashing back only happens at my upkeep, so this is not an instant copy effect. I can't just cast this here, copy Gyruda, and mill the remaining 4. I'm 1 mana short of casting this. If I Growth Spiral, I'm 1 mana short of casting a remaining copy effect. Oh well. Hey, if you're still here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thank you. And we're back. Didn't end up crafting anything else, didn't feel super necessary. We went 5-4 pretty well. Can I say it has some better matchups, some not so good matchups. So counterspells, of course, are pretty bad when your deck requires you to resolve a 6-mana creature. So Spirits especially is pretty rough. Blue-White Control is the other real counterspell deck in Explorer, which can be okay, because oftentimes their counterspells are Dovin's Veto, and we're trying to cast creatures. But that can still be a little bit rough. And then the second thing is anything that can remove Gyruda at instant speed. We saw the Leyline Binding in the Keruga decks being a big problem, but against most other things, as long as you don't get aggressively run over, this deck can go pretty well, and with the life gain from the Innkeeper, and having a reasonable chance to combo on turn 4, I think this is pretty good into most of the rest of the format. Turn 4 kills, nobody's doing faster than turn 4, and most of the turn 4 decks, like Humans and Mono Red, for example, often if their hand isn't ideal, they end up turn 5, so then you still have your chance to go off. Especially if you play a couple blockers like your Innkeepers and Charming Princes and maybe one of these on their creatures. It's pretty reasonable. If you want to completely optimize, there are a few issues. So just playing Gyruda and then getting one of these on Gyruda is not great. So to combat that problem, you can play Spark Double. Undercover Operative is pretty mediocre. The shield counter is generally irrelevant from what I've seen so far, so you could cut those and maybe an Impersonator or a Mimic, but I think Vizier is very, very good as well because you can cast it from your graveyard for 5 mana and get you rolling again on the next turn, which if we had a Vizier in our graveyard in the last game I showed, then the untapped land would have allowed us to win the game. Whereas Mirror Hall Mimic does not. Vizier does come back in and copy Gyruda again, and you can keep going, which is very solid. So I would, to improve this deck more, play it completely optimally. You probably want 4 of these and 4 Spark Doubles, and probably just in place of these 2 Clever Impersonators, pretty decent. So these have... There's some debate between Mirror Hall Mimic and Clever Impersonator in my head. So Clever Impersonator, you can get non-creature things, which is pretty cool, right? We copied the Sky Sovereign against Mono Green that one game, and that went pretty well. It can copy Planeswalkers and all that, which is very sweet. Whereas the Mirror Hall Mimic, you can cast the backside, so this comes in and dies, and then he can do something else, which is better against other creature decks. In my testing, I actually played the backside of Mirror Hall Mimic onto a 5/5 Shark Typhoon token that allowed me to eventually win the game. So what the backside of this card does, if you did not see it in Innistrad Limited, is, so it's enchants creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you make a token that is a copy of it, and it's a spirit in addition to its other types. So this can enchant any creature. So you enchant your opponent's creature, you get a copy of it every single turn, which is really cool. You can enchant your own creature, get a copy of it every single turn, but you have to wait until your upkeep, so it's not ideal for comboing immediately, but it is still a long-term value engine, which is pretty cool. So it might come down to preference between these. Maybe you want to like split 2 and a couple of these, a couple of Spark Doubles, worth testing out. Undercover Operative is definitely the worst, but I got it from drafting and didn't want to craft things, basically. If this is your jam, which it might be mine, this was pretty fun. I might come back and mess with those again later. I was pretty happy with the low end here. Would be really nice if Explorer were legal in Explorer to make the ramp less bad against temporary lockdown, but the Keruga deck is really the only place I've seen that in Explorer lately, so you don't have to be too afraid of people interacting with your ramp cards. But worked out pretty well. Innkeeper life gain is really good. We got up to 6 mana a lot, and more or less worked out. I think I like the balance of ramp spells to combo pieces here. were generally able to find a hand that had some of these and didn't miss too often over here. Reasonably happy with the mana base. So before I started recording, I didn't have enough blue. I may have overcompensated a little bit and now don't have enough green, because we had to throw back a couple hands without green to cast our ramp spells here. So what are we at now? We got 5, 8, 10, 14, 15 green sources, which should be plenty. Maybe you go up to 16, cut a Henge pathway for another breeding pool or something, but pretty happy with this one. I know I had fun. Hope you enjoyed as well. Thanks for watching.